are listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio, hosted by Steve Jr. and his satanic assistant. both of whom can't go into churches without vomiting.
With oh,
You
my,
almost threw up.
my throat is a little sore still from throwing up. Hi, good evening, and welcome to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course, simulcasting on our YouTube channel. And I would like to welcome our good friend Jeff, exploring Harley
Good
this
evening,
evening.
gentlemen.
How are you?
Tired.
Yeah, you had quite the adventure.
Yeah, I
Quite
had
the
this
adventure.
six-hour drive in the snowstorm. That was quite exciting.
I'd venture out and say, Jeff, you didn't ride your bike, did you?
Nah, I drove. I went down to New York State, actually. I went to the Shanley Hotel, and
Mm,
let me tell you, I just fell in love with this place.
good old Shanley.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been there, but yeah, I liked it when I was there. I liked it. A couple times I've
Yeah, I
been there.
think one of the lady of the night, Anna, she
Hmm.
liked the bearded kind of guy, and I think she
Oh.
liked me.
Mm.
So
I
you
left her a
so,
good tip.
I won't
uh,
even ask what kind of tip it was.
Just
so
for good paranormal
All right.
evidences.
you know what? I just before we get into things, I want to wish Mars a happy birthday. It's a
Yeah.
it's a special one for her today, so I want to say happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday,
Mars.
Cheers,
Marcel.
Marcy. Happy birthday.
So if everyone could
Ma-
say happy birthday to Mars.
Marcel.
So yeah. Anyways, yeah,
Hey,
the
Laura.
Shanley.
Hello.
Hey Laura, how are you? Good to see you. And Sue. Good to see Sue.
See you.
And Safari, always great to see you, man. I hope you're well. Bud Files. Steven, man, how are you? Good to see you.
First, hello. Hello.
Yes. And there's some guy in there called Hey, Exploring Harley. How are you? How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good.
And wait, there's some other guy named Alex.
I
Alex
don't know.
The Great
The fucking
Rondini.
jackass.
The Great Rondini. So, anyways, yeah. So you had a fun time at the Shanley.
Yes,
Um,
and it wasn't that hard to go through customs,
yeah,
but let 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 me advise my friends from Canada, when you're gonna cross the border, be prepared to be asked for stuff you were never asked before,
like
like your registration of the car. Just
really?
yeah, just the
Wow,
registration. Like I had my passport. You have the registration of the car. Yeah.
wow.
Never. Yeah. And Kelly, the owner of the chalet, she told me that another Canadian couple were there this past week, and
Hmm.
they had issues also getting through customs. So it's us going to the US. We have issues, but they don't turn you around, but they'll search for little glitches and
Yeah, they're just giving you a
They want
little
to
bit
make
of
sure
a
you don't cross with any meth.
fentanyl.
yeah,
And
fentanyl.
coming
Yeah.
back to Canada is like, where you were? Where are you going? You have bought any goods? No. Have drugs, guns, marijuana? No. Okay, thank you. Welcome to Canada.
I went all the way down there to buy Canadian beer.
Yeah.
Hey Gareth, how are you? Good to see you, man. I went- yeah, it's to be expected. It's to be expected, and I think
Unfortunately.
it's gonna be like that for a little while,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like I've been down there, God, so many times, quite frequently.
I never
And
had issues with
never had issues, and but
American.
I think now with the tensions growing, the trade tensions growing, you're gonna have a lot of people that might be a little offended that you're Canadian,
They'll be
and
offended because it's, most Americans know that 25% tax they're gonna put on Canadian goods, they're gonna pay for it.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
So
especially the businesses and along the border states are
ju-
really going to be hit hardest.
just aluminum. The
Yeah,
aluminum they
aluminum,
buy
auto.
from Canada, they make cans out of that aluminum down
Hmm.
in the US.
And
So
we buy them back.
the can you're gonna, yeah, but the cans they're gonna buy, like the pop they're gonna buy in the store,
It's gonna be
now on
25% more
it's not
expensive.
exactly. It
Mm-hmm.
won't be $2. It's gonna be 4 or probably $5 now.
So then they better up the return.
Yeah, but they it, the only well, Mr. Trump does he does his show, but he has to. We have to keep in mind that
It's a bargaining tool.
the
It
Constitution is there to protect against that kind of behavior. And
it didn't seem to bother them the last time,
yeah, but well,
right? Unfortunately, but anyways, yeah, the way I look at it is just bargaining leverage, and I think that
yeah,
it's all a matter of just negotiating, and I think
I will go back.
coolness will prevail. I like to
Yeah,
think, and they will negotiate a new free trade agreement because it just doesn't make sense. I mean to put tariffs on your neighbors like that. Honestly, they would be forced to go to like China and elsewhere, Russia, to get
mm.
to get their goods, and they don't want to go through that kind of bullshit. So, anyways,
Anyways, I will keep go to the US to investigate places, but I, with that in mind, I will probably more concentrate on Canadian places.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you're gonna. I mean, we're going out west for the first time. We're going to Victoria, BC. We've never been
Ooh,
out there, so
that's
we
a place I would love to go,
mhm,
and
yeah.
especially that not asylum but sanatorium.
Mhm.
What's the name of it?
There's a few places on Vancouver Island that are really,
Oh,
really,
Vancouver Island. Yeah,
yeah, some nice. But I mean, just to get out there, it's going to be a change from having to go over the border and flying and whatever else.
yeah.
I mean, we're flying out there, but I mean, you don't have to worry about crossing
Go
any
with your
international.
driver's license.
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about strict
You can't
policies
even
and
fly with your weed in Canada.
yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I said, it'll be a change, and I think it's going to be like that until you know whatever,
Yeah.
till this blows over. Hopefully sooner than later. But what are you going to do?
Even me, I
But
started looking into places here in Quebec, and oddly enough, I found something really interesting today.
yeah, really
And
interesting.
hey, built in 1830,
Hmm.
it became a bar where sailors went to drink. And one night, a fight broke up and a guy got killed. He got buried in the basement of that bar. And when everything started going sideways, the bar became abandoned and it's been abandoned since then. And
Yeah.
it's on the side of the fleuve, it's built in rocks.
Hmm.
It's an old tavern. We
Yeah.
called it tavern back then. And yeah. So that's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of places in Canada that are
Mm,
fascinating. And I think the problem has always been access. Access to a lot of these places are a little harder than they are in the US.
exactly.
And I think access meaning, legitimately getting into these places. But in the states, some of these places you got to pay ludicrous amounts to get into. You know, and
Don't start me on the Conjuring House.
Well, not just not just that. I mean, there's a lot of places like Waverly,
Well, you
the
get
rolling hills. It's outlandish the prices you got to pay.
yes, but the places are so huge that you can
Mm.
pack up a bunch of people and say, hey, we're gonna rent Waverly Hills. We have like 10 teams. Nobody's gonna overstep on anybody's investigation.
Yeah,
And
no, I get that. It's easy enough to gather enough people to do it. But I mean, honestly, I'm of the mindset if you want to properly investigate a place like that, you don't need those 10 teams there.
no,
It makes it, even though it's 80,000 square feet, it's still you never know if somebody's contaminating something that you've, prepared.
yeah, it could, yeah. But anyways, it's because it's what they offer also.
Mhm.
Conjuring House, it's like $1,200 for one creator, but if you
One
want to add,
small house.
yeah, and if you want to add one more creator, well, it's another like 800 more, and always money and money and money. And you go to the Monroe House, that is probably more active than the Conjuring House,
Mm.
and you pay $175. You have sodas, you have water, you have snacks, everything, and you even have a theater.
Yeah, I mean, when I was lucky enough with Waverly Hills, we didn't really have to pay too much because I had somebody on the inside. But at the time, and I got a free T-shirt. Woohoo! Well, it wasn't free. I part of the. But I mean, yeah, you pay big bucks to get in there. I think it's like $1,000.
Just like the Shanley Hotel was $850, I think. But
That much for the Shanley now?
oh yeah,
Wow.
but you get the full treatment.
Yep.
You get a room. You choose whatever room you want. It's a
Mhm.
hotel, so there's different rooms. If you want to sleep like in the big, there's a big common room where the speakeasy used to be.
Yeah, yeah,
If
down on the main level there.
exactly,
Yeah.
but if you want like your own room, you can have your own room. You have the old place. You have coffee. You have sodas. You have water. You have snacks. Uh, it's the packages. It's worth it.
Mhm.
It's not like the Conjuring House. You pay a phenomenal amount of money for barely anything,
Well,
and you can get
let's
kicked
face
out.
it, they're exploiting the notoriety of it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they know it's a hot commodity, so they're gonna exploit it.
Well, anyway, she
Sadly.
lost her license, so
Mhm.
nobody can go. If you went there recently, you are outlaw.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's there's been a few places like that over the years.
It'd be
That
interesting to know how they lost the license.
Oh, she's nuts.
yeah, she's nuts. I mean, wasn't she was arrested for drunk
For
driving or something?
DUI, she ran from the
DUI, yeah.
police,
Yeah.
and she fired one of her employees,
Mhm.
saying that John Arnold told her that he was stealing from the register. He died in 1830 something. It's like, what the hell?
Does he
No,
even know what a register is?
Exactly. Exactly. That
she's
thing that has the drawer that pops out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got some money and it's got some American coins. I can tell they're American. They're cheap looking. I'm just kidding.
Back in my day, you used to have the crank on side of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a music box.
Yeah.
Plays the music, pops open. Either that or a clown comes out.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
yeah.
we need places like that here in
Hmm.
Canada. We don't. We are lacking places like
Hmm.
that. The only place that can offer something really interesting is the Old Angel Inn. You rent a room, and when
Mhm.
you rent a room, they give you access to the whole hotel. If they have a ban, you're screwed because your investigation's gonna be.
Well, that's the problem, it's a neat place, it's a small place, but yeah, it's a business,
It's a business, yes, and
and
usually, it's so when you book an investigation, book a night that they don't have a live band on, because sometimes they have live bands.
yeah,
What
I
It
about
think
what about the Ottawa jail that got converted to a hostel?
you can still do
that
that, yeah.
that always
Mhm,
that yeah
Yeah,
that
I'd love to
also.
check that place out.
mhm.
But between those two places, what
There's
other
very
places
little.
do we have here in Canada?
There's the Beck House, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the Beck House, you have to rent the apartment
Hmm.
by via Airbnb to 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 um to go and investigate. But we don't have places that advertise as a
Well,
haunted venue.
I think that's the problem. I think, and that's the difference between here and in the States. I don't think there's a lot of places, a lot of businesses, or a lot of owners that want that kind of sort of exposure,
Well,
right? In fear and fear of being labeled like I mean, being feared as being only labeled as only haunted place.
there's one place now I forgot. Sorry, Dustin. Wayne Manor in
Yeah,
Wichita.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Dustin Wayne, he doesn't charge like that crazy amount of money, but he offers you a package, like haunted object all over the house. The
Yeah,
house had
he
activity before.
hmm he even
So,
said, yeah, he said, you contact him firsthand and he works something out with you guys. He's pretty good. He
oh yeah,
seems
he's
pretty
a
good. So
very nice guy, and he'll tell you all the stories you have to heard about everything he owns, and yeah, it's a very cool place to go. And I can't wait to go again because Dustin is a great guy too.
I mean, we know a free one.
Oh yeah, the farmhouse.
Hmm. Oh, you can't. You can stay in there for a few hours, but you can't stay overnight. But I mean, you get adjusted to things by going there for a few hours. I mean, it's an interesting place. It really is. Like over the almost 20 years that we've been doing it. Oh my God, another 4 more years, it'll be 20 years that
Wow.
we've been investigating this place.
The only
yeah.
place I did really overnight
Hmm.
was the John Johnson house
Hmm.
in Williamstown.
Yeah.
And it was my friend Elliot that was setting up for his public investigations.
Hmm.
So he told me, hey, if you want to stay overnight, like bring your sleeping bag and just crash on the floor. Okay, so I took my mattress and everything, and I crashed there, and it was cool.
Yeah, it's you know what? There are some places. I mean, you got the Ireland home here in Burlington. But again, it's a venue, it's a business. You can go in there, you can book it, and you can go in there for a few hours. And that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of places that will allow you to come in and investigate. But I find there's a lot of red tape with a lot of these places. It's like who
Hmm.
with a lot of these places too. It's like, well, I don't know your group and I don't know if you're going to come in and trash it or, like it's,
It's either who you know or how much money you're willing to pay.
well,
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
or donate. Hey, look,
Well,
Yep.
yeah,
you
donate.
donate,
Yes,
it's all about
into
donating,
right into their pockets.
donating.
Yeah. When I investigated the old courthouse here in Trois-Rivières,
Hmm.
it they charged me $750 for 4 hours because it's a
Wow.
museum.
Jesus. Wow. That's quite a bit of cash. Holy crap. And well, it was that Canadian or American?
The Canadian,
I know, I'm just kidding with you.
Canadian, but it's the oldest still standing jail in Canada, the Trois-Rivières Old Jail. And I think there's another team that did it like in the 90s,
Mm.
but I'm the only YouTuber that did a proper investigation in there.
You know, I would say Quebec City probably has a lot of good places too.
The
Quebec City
plane.
must have a lot of good places. A lot. I mean, think about the age of a lot of those places there, and the history behind a lot of the places. I mean, even old Montreal. Of course, Dom. If Don comes up, he could tell you,
Yeah, but
right?
I know that in old Quebec City, in the lower part of Quebec, they do like ghost tours and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that because the lower part of Quebec was bombarded. Um, First when the British invaded,
Mm-hmm.
and second when the Americans
Yep.
tried to invade in
Mm-hmm.
1775. The lower part of Quebec City was
Demolished.
hammered
Mm-hmm.
with artillery for a day or two, and the population had to be evacuated because
It's
river.
amazing. It's amazing though how much like obviously the inner what's the what's the city part again within the walls of Quebec City? What's that part called again?
Well, you have the upper like the gated
Yeah, yeah.
town.
What's that?
That's old. We called it Old Quebec.
Old Quebec. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the upper town, and
Mm.
you have the lower town. The
Hmm.
lower town is like where the sailors used to.
Sailors. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have a little church down there.
Hmm.
It's really where when the French came ashore,
Hmm.
that's where they debarked,
Yeah.
and Quebec started there, but
Mm.
they decided to build more fortification up on they call it Cap Diamant, the Diamond Cape,
Yeah. Hmm.
and because it was safer to be up or surrounded by walls. So when they were attacked, the people of the lower town would go up and get refuge into the fortifications.
Mm.
And you have the citadel that is kind of attached to the that fortification for
Alex,
defending.
have you ever been to Quebec City?
No,
Oh, I
I've
highly
been
recommend it.
to Montreal. Obviously, I've been to Saint Anne de Beaupré.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But not.
Well,
I mean,
Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré is right
beautiful little
before Quebec
place.
City.
It
Yeah,
is.
right
Yes,
before
beautiful
Quebec
little
City.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
A
And
friend of
oddly
mine.
enough,
Yeah.
the British they were their encampment was at Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré when they invaded Quebec City
Hmm.
Yeah.
because they had to wait until August. They tried and they tried, but the French they had the garrison at the bottom of the Montmorency Falls,
Mhm.
so they were shelling on every kind of ship that was trying to cross. But so they had to defeat that garrison before invading Quebec. So
Yeah.
they took camp at Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré.
It was actually quite nice. I had my friend had his mom lived in Saint Anne de Beaupré on one of the trailer parks there.
Wow.
So we went to go see her, and then he drove me around um, to the cathedral there. I can't remember the name of the cathedral in
Yeah,
Saint
the
Anne.
basilic.
Right. So we went there, and he drove me around the area. But I never got a chance to go to Quebec City, unfortunately. One of these days I'd like to go, but I haven't had the chance yet.
You know, I always said this about Quebec City. It's an interesting layout, man. You know, it's a very interesting layout. But I mean, if you're situated, if you do stay in Quebec City, stay close to the old Quebec.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know, if you find yourself elsewhere in Quebec, it's kind of I don't know. It's busy getting around Quebec City. It
Yeah.
really is. It's really
But
busy, and if you're close to old Quebec City, you could just walk there and just walk. It's really
oh,
nice. It's beautiful in there.
and
Absolutely beautiful.
you have the impression that you're not in Canada. You have the
No,
impression that like you're in Europe.
Europe.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You absolutely feel like you're in Europe.
Oh, Montreal's like that too.
Old Montreal to
Yeah.
an extent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but when you go to Quebec City, old Quebec City, oh my god,
it's
totally different.
totally yeah.
Yeah.
They preserved it so much,
Mhm.
and because it's kind of the only French settlement that kind of stayed intact.
You
Right.
kind of look at it like this. You look at it like that small little island off of the coast of Newfoundland. What is it, Saint Pierre? Saint Pierre,
C'est
or
Pierre
whatever.
et Miquelon,
Yeah,
yes.
and when you go there, it's like it's a part of the European Union, but it's
Yeah,
still
it's
like
France.
literally part of France, right?
Yeah,
And when you
French
go there, you're
territory.
like, holy crap, man! This is not Canada. No guff. But just right across, the ocean, like right there off the coast of Newfoundland.
Yeah.
And literally, Quebec City would be exactly an example if they had stayed with the French. If it still would have been a part of, if Quebec had been a part of France, it would. That's what it would, literally
Yeah.
be like.
Yeah. Well, it's the cobblestone streets. It's the, that's
The
classic.
buildings,
That's
the
classic old
buildings,
Europe. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
the buildings, everything.
Yeah.
The way
The
they
port,
lay out,
Yeah.
all stacked together, and
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and
it's like I was. I don't know if you know this, Jeff, but I wasn't born in Canada. I was born in Italy.
Mhm.
And the town I was in, similar style. It was on a hill, and it was surrounded by a wall.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Obviously, it didn't completely surround it nowadays, but it was fortified as well. And you cobblestone streets, just like you would typically find in most old European towns. You know what I mean? It was
Is it San Marino?
close to San Marino. I was
I
about
went to San
maybe
Marino. I went up the hill. I
yeah,
went up the
that's
tower.
beautiful.
Oh yeah.
We live about maybe 45 minutes south of San Marino. So when I went back there in 2015 with my wife, we rented a car and we went to San Marino daily because it was so
Wow.
close, right? And it's beautiful there.
Mm. So I went there 2 weeks on my R&R when when I was in Bosnia, and we did a field trip to San
Yeah,
Marino. And man, oh,
I know.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful place, and it's got the three castles. On each peak has a castle, right?
Yeah.
So we did the tours of each castle, right? And it was a great experience.
Yeah, I went up to the
The whole time Alex was singing, "Mama, I'm coming home."
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
uh, yeah, it's yeah. Quebec's got a lot of history. I mean, it's some of the oldest parts of Canada, right? I mean,
In the lower part of Quebec,
mhm,
in the old lower part of Quebec, I know there's little hotels, little auberge
mhm,
that you can rent rooms, and some of them advertise like haunted rooms.
mm, yeah,
So if you want like to immerse yourself into like French colonial, very like 1600 period, go to Quebec City, man. You'll be served.
have you had a chance to investigate anywhere in Quebec City?
No.
So there you go. There's another place for you to look, right?
Yeah, I know. And I have my eyes on the Citadel. I'm former military and I was stationed at the Citadel for 6 months. So
Oh wow.
I have my kind of entries. I know my way around the Citadel. So I just have to get the authorizations to because part of the Citadel is a museum, and like they used to have the cells to keep like prisoners and stuff like that. It, it's part of the museum. So to get access to that part, you have to have the access granted by the museum. So
So when
that's a
you
long, lengthy process, but
so when you were situated there, I mean, this is probably before you were thinking about the paranormal sort of aspect of things. But I mean, did you have any kind of weird?
I was working at the mess hall at the enlisted men mess,
Yeah.
and every time I always thought that somebody was still in, like, eating, because
Mhm.
I was hearing noises. I went to investigate, nobody was there. One time I put the chairs at the end of my shift on
Yeah.
the tables
Mhm.
like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Next morning, I receive a phone call saying, "Hey, didn't put the chairs up." Yes, I did, but the chairs were down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So
And then
that gives
the
you the
tunnels,
I got to get in there and investigate this place.
and the famous tunnels, I heard the famous footsteps, the ghostly footsteps of the soldiers going on the planes to
Mhm.
pop because they had trapdoors on the planes. So the soldiers would go by the tunnels and they
Mhm.
would pop on the plains of Abraham. So when the British invade, when they saw the British lined up on the plains of Abraham, they hustled and they went by the tunnel to form a line in front of them. So I don't know how many soldiers could have passed by those tunnels, but when you sit there, you hear those footsteps. It's insane.
The echo.
It's like the famous stone tape theory. There's
Mhm.
so much, and you still see the grooves in the rock of the footsteps where the soldiers were going back and forth.
Imagine that, eh? Imagine that.
It's incredible.
That'd be so eerie, that imprint in
Mm,
time going.
yeah,
We're still here. We're still
1759.
here. Um, I think yeah, it was in Quebec. Yeah, it was in Quebec City, down by the. Is it Quebec City? I'm pretty sure. Was it Quebec City or was it Montreal? It might have been Montreal. I can't remember. There was you know what? I think it is Quebec City, where you go. Oh no, man, is it? I'm getting the two mixed up. But along the waterfront, there are the forts along the waterfront,
In
and you
Quebec.
can go in. You can go inside. Oh my God, where was it? I even got pictures. I bet you still.
But I know in Quebec there's like cannons, the
Yeah,
first line of defense
yeah,
near the waterfront. Yeah.
yeah. I is or is it outside Montreal, old Montreal? See, I let me just pull it up here. Oh man.
If you see if I'll try to pop a picture of um oh,
I think it was old Quebec City,
trying to get a proper image.
and it was September. No, September 2023. I think we went there. Hold on.
I'm gonna show you a picture. Uh, try to. Okay, there you go. Uh, There you go.
September. Here we go. Hold on.
So this is on
Yeah.
the waterfront. Those cannons, you can go and walk there.
Yeah. That's in
Those
Quebec City.
cannons,
Yeah.
yeah, you have
Those are
access.
yeah, that's all along Quebec. That's right by that hotel, by
Yeah,
the Fairmont. But I mean, those cannons, they run all the way down the riverfront.
yeah, but right here you have a moat,
Yeah,
so you have
you
to
have a
be
moat
really
there.
careful.
Yeah.
You cannot jump from there to there. There's a drop right here. But that was the fortification, a part of the fortification of the city, because the soldiers would come by here, and you can walk. that street and come to those cannons, and you see in
So,
between behind the camera, that's the waterfront.
oh man, I'm thinking. See, I keep missing it, mixing it up with Quebec City. Hold on, I got Quebec City here. Hold on, here we are.
I don't know if there's a aerial picture of.
I've got the fort here. Yeah. Here we go. Just the interior of the fort. Here's the one. Can you see that? Can you see that?
Oh yeah,
That's inside one of the forts, and you can see the cannon pointing out
Hmm.
the arched window. Oh, what the hell's the name of the here's a picture of the fort here.
could it be Fort Saint Jean? Fort Saint Jean.
And
Oh, that's the tower on the plains.
yeah. There's a
Yeah,
few of them. There's Plains of Abraham.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. That's the guard
Exactly.
tower. That's the
Yes.
guard tower on the plains of
Yeah.
Abraham. But
What? And when you walk along the waterfront, hold on, I got shitloads of pictures of them.
because of that tower, because the way it is designed, the British when they attacked, they they
Look at that, Elliot.
um
Look at that.
yeah, that's the
That's
lower
looking
part.
down. That's the lower
Yeah,
part. That's
the
the
lower part of Quebec.
historic part
So
of
that
Quebec.
part in 1775 was completely leveled
Yeah.
by the Americans. They bombarded the lower part of Quebec for 2 days.
Oh, and I've got where is it?
And that's where Montgomery got killed.
I'm trying to find. Here we go.
And
And
Benedict
and here you go. Here's the moat. Here's the moat.
yeah,
Right there's one of the guns from the moats. There's the what it looks like the St. Lawrence, and there's another angle of the gun. One of the guns, and these guns. There's as Jeff showed you, the moat, and then from the moat all the way down there's a wall along the Lawrence River,
yeah.
and there's a
It was a part of the fortifications of
yeah,
the
and they
French.
run all the way down here. Look, see,
Yep.
all the way down, man. They literally fortified Quebec City.
Oh yeah, they
It
did.
was just insane.
Oh, Marcel went to the plane, and I personally one time crossed people that told me they just crossed people in period uniform on the plane, and
I wouldn't.
they were asking, "Where's the reenactment?" I said, "There's no reenactment." What?
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it for a second because I mean, like I said, there's so you feel it when you walk on the fields of Abraham. You literally feel it's like
Yeah.
Gettysburg.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's like the Canadian version of Gettysburg almost. It's like you really feel it's soaked. You feel it.
And when you walk it at night, you hear stuff, and it was in the evening that when I crossed those people, they told me they saw people in period uniform, and it was near the monument where Wolf died.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I've got some audio that I taken from
And
somewhere.
for my British friends, do you know how Wolf got shipped back to the UK? Folded in half in a barrel of rum.
Barrel.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. They preserved them in a barrel
Yeah.
of rum. They folded, they they kind of like that, and in a barrel of rum back to the UK to be buried in Westminster Abbey.
I remember I had taken some video of inside that the guard
The guard tower, yeah.
the guard tower. As in the upper part of the guard tower, because I think is what is it, 3 floors, 3 levels. And the upper part And thankfully, there was nobody there really. It was just myself and my wife. And I was taking some video, and I remember watching it and listening to my on my AirPods in the hotel hours later, and going, "What the fuck?" I captured, and I gotta find it somewhere. It sounds like like a cannon going off,
Mm.
and there's no cannons going off.
Well,
It was the weirdest thing, man. Was that an echo in time? An
at
echo.
1 o'clock, they shoot a cannon at the Citadel.
But this was like late afternoon. This is late
Okay,
afternoon.
so that was not the one
No,
o'clock
no, no,
gun.
no, 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 no. This is late afternoon. And I mean, there's absolutely no cannons being shot, because I mean, we would have been looking, we would have heard it. I mean, they're loud.
Oh yeah.
They're fucking really loud.
I was in the artillery. I can tell you, and especially
Jeff, they're loud.
those black powder ones. Oh my god! You just look at reenactments like with Gettysburg and stuff like that. Those are just 6 pounders,
Hmm.
and in Quebec, those were 12 and 16 pounders.
Something like that. They're big.
Imagine a 12-pound
They're
shot.
big fucking cannons, man.
And
Big.
you
Huge.
see the walls of those cannons. The wall is really thick, so they were packing those cannons full of powder, and they had to pack a punch.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's when you go to these places, these battlefields, such as the plains of Abraham and Gettysburg and other places, Battlefield Park in Stony Creek, a lot of people have died. A lot of
Lundy's
people,
Lane in
Lundy's
Ontario.
Lane, a lot of people have died. And it's hard to deny that something is imprinted there permanently from all the emotion and all the energy that was expended during this. It's hard not to believe that there's some sort of imprint that plays out over and over and
I
over
believe
again.
it. I believe it because there's so much, especially during battle, there's so much emotions, anger,
Mm,
fear, uh, sorrow, name it, even joy.
mm.
People freaking enjoy it. So the emotions, the mix, and the energy that creates around it, it's I cannot explain it because every battlefield I went,
Mhm.
I always feel that kind of buzzing inside of me.
Yeah.
And is it the energy that was created by all those emotions that is that buzzing?
Hmm.
So,
Last Crusade, when I was waiting underground for a fellow explorer, sat in the dark, looked like candlelight movement, shadows covering the rock, even when I closed my eyes. Happened for
whoa,
5 to 10 minutes.
wow, wow.
And let me tell you, Gareth has been to some
Oh,
pretty
I
cool.
imagine. And in Wales, it's just the history. I always
Some of the
joke around.
locations he's been to, man. I'm like,
I
I
always
don't know how he does it.
I joke around to say in the UK, even the lampposts are haunted. So,
Yeah, so many, so much, so
and
much. Yeah.
Michael, that's why all the rum was gone because Wolf was bathing in it across the ocean back to the UK.
uh, yeah, yeah, that's some of these, like, I mean, you go to a lot of these places that are historic and have a long backstory to them. And one of the places, it's not necessarily a battleground, but it's it was the site of a lot of action and kind of history, and that was the Blue Ghost Tunnel in Welland.
Mm.
And you go there, and I think a lot of people, when they go there, they think that they're automatically going to capture something, they're going to get something, and any little anomaly that happens, that we'll just say is explainable. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's explainable. It does no. Look at what I captured. It's a fucking ghost. And it's sad. It really is, because I mean, when you go to a lot of these places for the very first time, and if you haven't really been investigating the paranormal for a long time, it can be overwhelming. It can,
Oh yeah.
because you're like, I gotta get some. I gotta get some. I know I'm gonna get some. I just have this feeling I'm gonna get something, and it could be so much as like an orb going by the video camera.
Yeah,
Oh
or
my
even
god! Look at that again. I got an
your
orb.
REM pod triggering. Oh, I've got something. It could be a lot of things, but
Mhm.
like me yesterday, I know there were snowplows going around, so even my REM pod was going off. Yes, I was saying thank you, but I say in my video, there's snowplows around, so the guys are probably on their CBs calling each other. So could it be that? I don't know.
You never know. It could be. You never know. Because I mean, look at when you. I remember, cell phones at one point when. Do you remember when they were about to receive a text message,
Yeah.
and you would have like an app open or something open, and all of a sudden you'd hear that. Teet, 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 that beeping sort of, okay, oh, and then a
Yeah.
text would come through,
Yeah, that
right?
was more. Wasn't that more the analog phones?
It was. I mean, it did play out. It did play out later on, still for quite a while before that was fixed. But I mean, you literally can almost hey, oh, I got a text coming and I know it's coming in. You kind of had like a little pre-warning,
Mhm.
pre-warning that this is going to come on, you know. So I don't know. It's like, well, I can predict when I get a text without letting anybody know. I'm going to get a text here in 2 seconds. Oh,
Mhm.
Well, that being said, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, imagine what kind of interference the REM pods have all around them.
there's a lot.
Yeah,
There
there's a
is a
Like
lot.
lot. I
the only way
mean,
you're gonna truthfully use a REM pod and use whatever activity you get from them as legitimate or more legitimate is if you actually build a Faraday cage around the location
exactly.
Yeah.
you're investigating.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or when you're for example, in the bunker,
Mm.
you're surrounded by concrete.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that a radio signal is going to go through that concrete.
Mhm.
So when that REM pod hits, it's like, okay, that's weird.
So the question now
If you
remains,
don't get a cell signal, look,
yeah,
man, I got no signal in this place. I'm fucked.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
does it
When I
trigger when
went,
you fart?
no,
Just want to make
Uh,
sure. Want to
I
clear the
was with
air.
my friend Lomar in Halifax. We were in an old bunker, 20 feet underground,
mhm.
and that freaking REM pod was going off. We
Yeah.
had no freaking signals on our phone. I even show my phone on the camera. So even if I put it on airplane mode, it's like SOS. There's no signal, nothing. And the freaking REM pod, just that one, the one in the far end. And I was feeling off at that far end, and it was always going off.
Mm.
Why? I don't know.
Crazy stuff, man. It's just crazy. But I kind of like one thing, and actually, we'll get into it in the second half. I'm not going to get into it now, but we'll get into it into the second half. But it's just continuing on with the locations and shit like that. I mean, there's in Canada, there's a lot of great places. It's just a matter of
Finding
finding them.
Some of them are some of them are free on.
Yeah.
uh,
Did you say fart free?
no, fart.
Suddenly,
No, like there's a place here in Quebec,
Mhm.
and I've been wanting to go there and do like a camping video.
Mhm.
It's Saint-Jean-Vianney. In 1976, half of the town went on a landslide. 31 people died. Some of them are still buried
Oh,
to this
man.
day under that landslide. The city's completely abandoned. It's like a park.
Mhm.
People go camping there all the time and stuff like so. That would be kind of a place to go. Like you set up camp and just go in the woods and investigate.
I want to know what country or state is fart free now that something's determined. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
there's places like that. Yeah, I know that you have places that unknown battles that happen along the
Mhm.
border here in Canada. It's like during the Fenian Wars,
Yeah.
little war that was not really advertised everywhere, but people died. They had battles. They had little skirmishes along the border here. I know there's a place near Sherbrooke, and you
Yeah.
have one place in Ontario. So,
One place in Ontario, huh?
hey, there's Elliot talking about the wolf a little bit earlier on. I was talking about the John Johnson house.
Hey,
Great
Elliot,
place.
how are you? The Phantoms of Yore. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, there's a lot of places. It's just a matter of scoping them out, doing a little bit of research, and saying, "Hey,
And
I think."
Elliot is a good guy for it because he goes around and he gives you access of some of those places. And that's what I like about Elliot because he gives us the chance to investigate places that possibly you couldn't have the chance to investigate if you would go by yourself asking for it.
True, very true. Okay, we're going to take a break here, guys. We'll be right back. We're taking a break for the listeners on the New Visions Radio Network. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Again, you are watching and listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course, simulcasting on our YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of Alex and his, what is it? What is it? Free farting?
Free
Yeah.
farting.
Free farting, yes.
Free farts. Free farts. All right. We'll be right back, guys. Hold on tight. Hold on.
Good evening. I'm Richard Palmisano, the founder of the Searcher Group. It's a paranormal company, the oldest in Canada. I founded it in 1979, which not only makes me old, but makes me doing paranormal research and field work for just under 45 years now. I am also an author, researcher, and lecturer on the paranormal. I've written 6 books now. And I really enjoy coming on with Steve and Alex on Nocturnal Frequency Radio, as well as listening to the shows, because there's a lot of interesting guests there. I like it, looking at this stuff, because it opens your mind to other options and other alternative thoughts. And, there's always time to learn new things. So I hope you join us and come and see Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Thank you.
So let me ask you, what makes for good radio?
My 5 favorite songs all day long.
Play it again.
No.
As many commercials as physically possible.
What? No, why would that be good?
Great music, great talk shows, no commercials.
Precisely. New Visions Radio gives you no commercials, no nonsense, just the best new music and the best talk all day long, 24/7, 365. NewVisionsRadio.com.
Hey guys, Kristen here, host of the Paranormal Girl podcast, a bingeable exploration and deep dive education about the paranormal for the skeptical believer. Some of my past season topics have included shadow people, Mandela effect, demons, and UFOs. Currently, I am tackling Bigfoot. I have been sharing this journey with my audience since early 2021, and I have learned a lot these last few years. It's truly a mysterious world out there beyond our perceptions, and reality is just not what it seems. I have also, since the start, met some awesome folks like Alex and Steve, and I've really enjoyed watching and learning from them and also joining them on their show. Their guests are always outstanding, their listeners are just the coolest, and these hosts are some of my favorite people. I recommend their show to anyone looking for an intelligent and fun conversation about the paranormal amongst friends. So join me on my investigation, join Steve and Alex on theirs, and enjoy. Now back to the show. You are watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
And that you are. Welcome back to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course, simulcasting on our YouTube channel. And tonight we have our good friend exploring Jeff.
Exploring Harley.
How's it going, Jeff? Really good, Jeff.
Good. A bit tired, but the adrenaline rush just got down. I took my medication and I'm good.
It's one thing that has bothered me for quite some time now, and it has been bothersome for a long time. And I'm seeing a lot more of it come out, and I think it's just because of the whole YouTube aspect, and that, Jeff, I know you've had your experiences with it, I just it just baffles my mind, the nastiness of some people who call themselves debunkers.
Yeah, because sometimes you have debunkers and you have those debunking entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
And the debunking entertainers, they sometimes it's more attacks than debunking.
Well, it's personal. It gets quite personal, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you even bother going on these personal attacks when it has nothing to do with what you're supposed to be debunking?
Yeah, and just calling somebody fake just because somebody told something about you, but you didn't like it because he just told the truth, and you don't want anybody knowing what kind of person you are. So
Mhm.
probably I touched that little nerve, I pinched that little nerve that got to him, and well, truth hurts, like we say.
Hey, Barbara. It, but and I'm not going to mention who it is,
Oh,
obviously.
me neither.
And
Me neither, because
there's no sensitive. But what I look
he
at
doesn't deserve my slap anymore.
and look at I'm not defending a lot of paranormal or so-called
Some of
paranormal.
them are doing great job.
Some of them are doing great jobs, but there's a lot out there that are doing it obviously for the entertainment.
Yeah, there's personal attacks in there, and one of them kind of slithered his way into the good grace of some of them,
Mhm.
and he keeps doing his little dirty jobs, but
Yeah.
they kind of um, approve what he does, because sometimes it's when they go in the personal attacks,
Mhm.
that's where I have a problem. You want to debunk something? Show me something like some of them do. Like, okay, that place is not there. It's there. And
Mhm.
that's debunking. The glitter that's right there, that's a wire. That's debunking.
But my question has always been, if you're going to go out on a limb and you're going to make a career out of debunking, if you will, um, in many aspects, what qualifications do a lot of these guys who call themselves debunkers have?
None.
I mean, it's just, Jeff. Don't get me wrong; it's the same with those who fake the paranormal
Yeah.
shit,
Oh yeah. Oh
for an
yeah.
entertainment person. It's the same on that side. But
Yeah.
I'm finding a lot of these debunkers are feeding off that.
Yes, because they're the big ones are the ones that are pulling views. So they'll go for the one pulling views. Once in a while, they go for a small one, but they always go back to one big one
Mhm.
because the clicks are there, the views are there, and they will be lying to me saying, "Well, I'm not doing this for views and clicks." Bullshit.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was just gonna say, I mean, the advantage that the debunkers have, unfortunately, is that we in the paranormal field are trying to prove the paranormal, which means anything that's outside of the norm.
Mhm.
Whenever you're trying to make a statement that's outside the established norm, the
Mhm.
onus is on us to prove it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's very easy for debunkers to say, no, it's not true.
Mhm.
This is the reason why. And even though it might be just their point of view
Opinion.
or their
Mhm.
opinion,
Mhm.
they have a bigger leg to stand on than people in the paranormal field because we're the ones making the claim saying ghosts exist, this exists, that exists. That's outside the norm.
Mm.
That's the leg they have to stand on. Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
And a lot, like, I mean, when I look, okay, when I bring it down to the community, like, I mean, this is everywhere. Don't get me wrong, this is everywhere. But when you look at how how nasty things get on like YouTube. I mean, I remember, Alex, Blog Talk. It was the same shit,
Yeah.
But this is even more nastier. I mean, the
That's a bigger
attack.
platform.
It's
Yeah.
a huge platform,
It's a huge
and
platform. Yeah.
these guys get personal. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
downright personal.
Yeah.
Sure.
You
Oh
know,
yeah. They
and let's not forget, a lot of these guys that are doing this have a lot of followers. So of course, a majority of those people that follow these guys are going to side with that guy that they're following, with the views of that guy that they're following. Because, hey, he's like God when it comes to debunking.
Well,
What are you fucking debunking?
They kind of went to get some of the viewers of those big channels that believed what they did, what they were doing, but they kind of realized that they were getting rolled into something, but it wasn't flour.
I mean, honestly, look at it this way. I mean, you look at a lot of those big YouTube fucking accounts, creators, if you will, content creators, if you will, that have literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of viewers or subscribers. I mean, and you know, they literally just don't give a shit. And but because they're making their money off of fucking bullshit. It's entertainment. They know how to entertain you. They really do. For the most part, that's what these guys are doing. They know how to entertain you. It's like, and I keep saying this over and over again. It's like when you're a kid, when you watched wrestling, you thought wrestling was real.
Oh yeah.
And then when somebody came along and told you no, it's fucking scripted, you would like, well, go fuck yourself. It's not. It's real.
They're
Look,
bleeding.
there's blood there. Look at it. It's real. It's the same thing with this. When a debunker comes out of the woodwork and says, "No, that's not real. They're faking it. They're doing this. They're doing, and then oh my god, the collective goes nuts, and they decide, well, we're gonna have a witch hunt on this debunker.
And sometimes, unfortunately,
It's
some of their viewers that send them clips.
Yeah.
And sometimes they will send them clips of, oh, I watched that guy, but there's nothing to debunk, but it just doesn't like his face. And that becomes personal attacks, because sometimes you say, oh, I'm gonna check that smaller channel, but he's debunking probably a lack of education from the investigator.
Well, they don't see everything. Obviously, the bunkers don't see everything, but at the same time, the people that are presenting a lot of this stuff don't show you everything either. And I like to view myself as a healthy, skeptical person. I have to be very skeptical with a lot of stuff because
you have to.
And you need to have that when you're dealing with the paranormal, especially now.
You have to, because
and then
everything would be paranormal. Everything would be a ghost or an alien or whatever. Sometimes you have to think, and what could it be? When you don't have any logical explanation, that could be paranormal.
What doesn't help the paranormal is that there are a lot of investigation or investigative groups that fudge, for lack of a better term, they fudge the findings. Like they'll exaggerate, just for their own clickbait. You know what I mean? And it just, all the debunkers on YouTube know that. So it's one of those things. It's like our community, our field, if you will, isn't helping the matter.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
the fact that you got so many people who are lying. Yeah.
And the other thing is, sometimes they will try to kind of, I don't know, kind of size up the individuals, but who are they to? All right, were you a profiler for the FBI? I didn't know.
Exactly.
Did you work as an intelligence officer for the Army? So,
Jeff,
what
I'll tell you,
qualification do you have?
99% of them, they all work on the night shift in a grocery store.
And some of them are security guards.
Like Steve.
Yeah.
But I'm 2 courses short of being a psychologist. Yeah, balloons. Yeah. Yay, party! I quit college because I enlisted in the army, but I'm missing just 2 courses that I have to finish, and I could be a shrink. But I use my knowledge into psychology, human brain, the human kind of, how can I explain
Condition?
it? Body languages.
Yeah.
You know what, Jeff? You kind of remind me of one of those doctor like those scientist type of guys in a like a Close Encounters of the Third kind of movie. And you're the guy trying to reason with what's happening, and you're articulating everything, and everyone around you is going, "What the fuck's he going on about? He's so full of shit." No,
Yeah,
I'm
but
kidding.
that could be me. But I've learned to like analyze body languages and stuff like that. And
Mm.
during my time in the army, I did some stuff that I learned. So
So
yeah,
what are you reading from Steve and I right now?
I'm really honest, uh, genuine person that are not, because you have those people that kind of give themselves a persona,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but you're not those kind of people. You'll have a person that will give himself a persona, and you will live the character all day long.
Jeff, let me tell you, it changes on a dime if you give him a burrito.
Oh, fuck.
You want to see a savage? You give him a burrito, man.
No, the savage part comes after the digestion process.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. You give him a burrito, everything changes.
Uh,
But
yeah.
what
So
what 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 it like what has bothered me is the fact that it's healthy to be skeptical and ask the questions. I absolutely encourage that. I mean, you have to ask the questions. But then when you go out on this personal attack, this you're driven by something other than that healthy skepticism. Like a lot of these guys are on a fucking witch hunt,
oh yeah.
and I'm like, You're not doing anything by doing this. I mean, you're not going to
And
change you're not
oh,
going to change the minds of the masses that have already fallen for the crap. You're not. You're just going to fuel their hatred towards you. Exactly. But what if they're all we are all nuts? you know. It's a good question. Are we
we
all nuts?
could.
Are we
We
all
could.
nuts? Are we all nuts?
We could.
I think
But
Terry has a nut fetish.
so yeah,
Yeah.
and we saw most of them kind of
Mm.
pop up and kind of being born, especially during that Cody and Satori kind of saga, the toe popping saga from the Conjuring House. They all kind of had their take on it, and that's where they kind of developed. And you had those in the UK kind of attacking that guy, Lee guy. That's his house is haunted, but every time you see furniture flying around, the guy stays in his house.
You know, I know a lot of people. I've dealt with a lot of people over the years that will make these claims, especially in their home, you know, simply because they want attention. They're looking for attention. Attention is a huge thing. And it's the same thing when they decide to take it to the next level and they create their YouTube channel or TikTok or whatever else. I'm going to throw this out, say everything's haunted, And that should, and you know what? It attracts people. People are attracted to that. Oh, that's interesting. That's cool. Oh my God. Holy shit. And a lot of people kind of start feeling sorry for that person because they're like, they give you this persona that I don't have a lot of money, so I can't move. Don't donate to my GoFundMe account, and so I can move and buy another house, or
Yeah,
people get suckered into this shit.
I know. And
I mean, look at the
that's
Conjuring house.
yeah, that's where I had the problem. The people asking money because, oh, hey, I'll send you my psychic. She's gonna, or have a private reading with our personal psychic for 15.99 an hour. I don't know. And it's those people that I have problems with. It's like they're trying to use the paranormal to make money out of it.
Oh, so many of
It's
them.
not a fucking business. We're trying to find out something. Oddly enough, we're doing scientific work.
Mhm.
It's we're doing it in our way, but we're doing scientific work.
What is it? What's the word? What's this? Pseudoscience, as science likes to call it. Pseudoscience, right?
Yeah,
It's a pseudoscience, but
that's what they
pseudo
classify the paranormal research
Yeah.
as.
Yeah.
and they called the I was just reading an article on Galileo that they removed what is middle fingers and they preserved it into the museum. That was kind of the middle finger to the Catholic Church, saying that the sun doesn't revolve all around the earth. It's the earth that revolves around the sun.
Yeah.
And they called him crazy. They called him pseudo scientific.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he,
A lot of things are science fact today were at one point considered pseudoscience.
yeah,
At one point, we didn't even realize there were germs.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at a lot. I mean, you look at carbon monoxide. I mean, the unseen world. This is a huge factor. Again, like I've said a million times, it's if it's outside the tangible sort of scope of the human senses, it's not believable until it's believable, right? Until we discover, oh my God, you know, it
I,
is
ju- I,
true.
I just want to know. No, it's not scientific work that you are doing, Julie. Can you elaborate on that? I just want to know I just want to
It's
know your opinion.
we clarified by saying pseudoscience.
It's a pseudoscience,
Yeah.
but we're trying to find out something.
If you're using scientific methods to try to explain what's going on, then it falls underneath the science realm. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't do that.
Yeah,
You
and
they don't
you
they
have
don't use they don't use scientific research or methods or theories to try to explain what's going on.
exactly.
They
So
automatically say, "Look, I got some
and
evidence. I got some evidence of the paranormal."
Well,
Holy shit!
part of the
Evidence.
problem is that we can't really use a scientific method because we can't reproduce paranormal at will. Part of the scientific method is trying to repeat, or if you have a theory, you try or
Recreate.
whatever you're
yeah,
trying
but
to.
scientific methods. What I just want to know, what is for you a scientific method?
Well, that's what I mean. You have to. It's
She's
something that's
explaining.
repeatable.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is with the paranormal, and Steve and I kind of touched upon this on the Friday night show that we did.
Accumulate water from a rainfall.
Yeah.
It's a scientific method, but it's a freaking simple principle of a funnel and a bucket.
I think okay. I think the problem here is this. The problem is terminology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
But you have
if you look at the scientific method, what it is, it's something that you can repeat. The problem is that a lot of people don't understand outside of what we're trying to do. First and foremost, you can't make the paranormal happen at will.
No.
Right? That's the one thing. It doesn't mean that, as Terry stated here, science is simply a search for truth, and that's exactly what I was getting at.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Using the scientific method may work with something that's physical, something that's measurable. Unfortunately, with the paranormal, it's not measurable. At least we don't have the method to be able to measure
Not
it yet.
yet.
No.
Right? But a lot of the things that were discovered in the past that is now considered the norm in science was also at that stage that we're at now with the paranormal. Eventually, they found a method to be, or a means to be able to measure certain things that before they didn't have. So that's what we're trying to accomplish in the paranormal field, is trying to find something that we can actually repeat, if you will.
We have
you know what I
different
mean?
People.
It's like if you go into a location that is known to be haunted, if you will, and you go in there, and you take proper protocol in collecting audio, if you will, and using a Faraday cage and everything else that you want to do, and you're getting say, you ask a question, who's here with us right now, and all of a sudden you get a answer stating a name, right? Say the name is for this particular round of reasoning, we'll just say Karen. Hey, Karen, my name is Karen. Okay. And there is a Karen that is, pinned to the history of that location that might have perished. There might be a backstory. But the thing is, the name is being said, and you clearly get it within a Faraday sort of field. And not just once, but many times. You're getting what sounds like maybe the same voice saying Karen or something related to Karen. And then you're like, okay, wait a sec here. You ask another question, a follow-up question, and then all of a sudden there's a follow-up reply. Okay, something is going on here, because they're actually fucking answering a question with an intelligent response. Okay, I might have something here. Right?
And to answer
that is very rare. Absolutely incredibly rare.
Can you put that up, please, again, Alex? I will answer it. Are you taking notes? Yes, we are, because we're filming our investigations. That is the same thing as taking notes. We're doing tests. Yes, we're doing tests. We're doing lots of tests. We put cards. We try everything. Yes, we do tests. And temperature. We have means to check the temperature.
That follows
humidity. EDI plus tell you if there's a pressure change.
And that follows into what I was saying again before. It kind of leads into the paranormal as we know it is dead.
And stop spitting on phone apps, because most of the devices.
Hate phone apps. I can't stand phone apps. But
most of the devices that are on the market are chip based, and the chip in them are apps.
One thing that is essential, very essential, that a lot of people do not do in paranormal investigations anymore. Absolutely do not do this. And that is taking base readings.
Yeah, you have to.
For each and every room or whatever location you're in, base readings are essential, because you can fall back on those readings and compare them to other readings that you might get throughout the night.
No filming is not taking notes. Don't start on me, okay? I studied psychology, and when we study cases, we film our subjects.
Filming is essential to document a
It's
location too.
essential.
It's
It's a
essential. Yeah.
standard procedure in every scientific freaking experiment.
Yeah, filming is essential. You
Again,
need to
getting
film,
back to the point
document.
I was making earlier, we're dealing with a realm outside of the physical.
Hmm.
You cannot
Absolutely.
you cannot apply physical rules to a non-physical.
No,
No,
and that's what I
exactly.
said. That's what I've been
Shit.
saying. You have to think
Yeah,
outside the box. You
yeah.
really do to fully
And
understand.
you could take all the base readings you want. You could take all the shit, like everything, like the scientific method. You can follow that to the T and still not get any results. Hence the reason why I think, personally, I think the scientific community is sort of shied away from the paranormal
Yeah.
entirely and shunned it. It doesn't
So,
work.
in microbiology,
It doesn't work, but you still need to keep a
yeah,
standard, regardless. You need to take
truly,
those base readings.
you're probably a very educated woman. I don't doubt it. All right, but every scientific people have different mean of taking notes. All right, it's not because you love writing. People don't hate writing. I can introduce you to very prominent scientific people that never took a note in their life. Everything was dictaphone.
It's also the ease of it too, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, the ease of it.
Yeah.
you could speak, like you could say, temperature in this room is so and so, humidity level is so and so on a dictaphone a lot quicker than you can write it down.
Yeah.
So it's also preferential, right? So someone
Yeah.
may prefer writing it as opposed to someone may prefer using a dictaphone or even videotaping. Bottom line is
Different means.
different means, exactly.
Different means.
Videotaping evident, like videotaping you saying it's 27 degrees in here is the same as you writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Or on a dictaphone, it's the same thing.
And again, okay, so depending on the note taking part and why you're taking notes, you're covering that in several different bases. I mean, depending on how your group or your organization or whatever else goes into a location and
Mm-hmm.
how their method of investigation is. Um, I don't know about you, but I like to use video to document a location, to visually go back and compare things that might happen throughout the night, right? I need to have that visual sort of aspect to sort of understand if there's something that might have happened in some other realm, like audio or photography or whatever. I have something to compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, taking notes, depending again, can be through audio. Dictaphone can be through your
Yeah.
audio recorder,
Mm-hmm.
right? Again, you can compare those notes to your visual notes.
Yep.
It's
And I know.
as long as things are being recorded, as long as they're being recorded in one fashion or another, it's being noted.
And I know investigators, they keep journals of their investigations. Everything is written down. It's not because I don't write anything down that I don't do my investigation in the scientific approach.
Julie, are you
And
asking Jeff this? Because I'll tell you, I do this all the time. Comparison. I mean, it's a must. It's important to
you have to.
compare. You have to.
But if you go one time to a place, you cannot compare the evidence that you had before because it was your first time.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you something too. I need to throw this out too. This is the reason why the paranormal as a whole does not work. Um, the reason why I say that is because I may gather some findings, and I don't like saying evidence. I may gather findings, but who or what do I have it to compare to? When there are nobody else out there that are willing to sort of share that sort of information that might be linking to what I might have. There needs to, and again, Alex, this kind of leads down to your way of thinking, and that is some sort of database or some sort of organized
Yep.
database, if you will, that you can compare notes with. Maybe audio, maybe visual, maybe whatever, but there isn't that. Everyone is working against everyone in this field, and it's never going to be furthered when people fucking argue all the time.
Oh, it's
And
the Wild West.
But
It's
you
the
know what?
Wild West.
Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with a good argument. You need to argue. I mean, hey, fucking theories. That's peer-reviewed theories. Science is full of them. That's how science furthers itself, right?
Well, I think we need to move on from this, to be honest with you. But the bottom line is that the problem we're dealing with a realm that's at best speculative.
Nothing is known. Nothing.
No, it's entirely speculative.
This is what I like. This is what I regardless, I like the hard questions that Julie's asking. I like that.
Come on.
No, you need to have that, Jeff. You really do.
I think he's saying that to her comment.
Yeah.
Well, fake science. Come on.
Pseudo is not fake. It's just pseudo.
Well, no, the name pseudoscience literally means fake science.
No, I know.
She's right in that assessment.
Yeah,
but
fringe.
It's the point that I think we're all trying to get across here is that because we're not dealing with something that's the norm. Literally, paranormal means above normal, or anything equal to or above normal.
Yeah.
Not normal.
We're trying to base the assessment with our current understanding of the physical reality to something that's not physical.
And that's what I mean. This is what I'm saying. I mean, you know what? Science can take you so far, but it doesn't take you all the way. You know, there's a lot more that
science leaves you a base. It's almost like
it gives you a base reading. Yeah.
Right. It's almost like a base reading.
There's a lot more going on in life that science cannot explain. And I'll tell you that. Tell me, can science explain to me life after death? No.
If there is. Yeah.
Exactly.
In a certain point of time, they would burn you when you said the earth was round.
You know? Science is there. And it's not the end all be all. It is man-made. It is fallible, just like everything else man-made. But yes, it has done a great service in explaining what we currently know. And that's the thing. And it slowly explains, piece by piece by piece. But
Science
it's not
supposed, yeah.
It doesn't explain everything. It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's supposed to be evolving. Science is supposed to be an evolving field, meaning
it's evolving.
You always
constantly.
You always question. If you stop questioning, what's the point of science?
There's no point.
The whole point of science to begin with was to question the mysteries of the universe. And we got to as far as we got
to learn about it.
Because we questioned things, because we wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
The problem is, it seems to me that when it comes to the metaphysical or the hyper reality or whatever you want to call it, science shies away from that. And I don't know, and I'm not going to say all of scientists shy away from it, because we do have some scientists that get involved with it. But anybody who's in the scientific community gets involved with the paranormal is shunned.
I'm not saying that they all do it for science. I'm the first one calling myself a monkey.
I agree. I agree with Julie on that one.
I agree.
Yeah.
That,
And that's the problem. I
I
mean,
give you that.
not everybody in the paranormal is doing exactly
No, no,
that.
no, no, no,
No,
no, no.
most
No,
are
no, no,
doing it
no.
just for the views and the
Yeah.
clickbait.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. This is why
Mhm.
we're doing this discussion here, Julie.
But this is what I like. I like that Julie is bringing this stuff up.
Yep.
You need to add, these are things that you need to say and ask.
Yeah.
You really do. I mean, honestly, people have gotten away with so much shit when it comes to the paranormal. It's ridiculous.
Yes,
And I'm
because
not.
there's so much bullshit out there
Yeah.
of people like having stuff flying off the wall. The wall is like practically bleeding. It doesn't happen like that. It's not a fucking movie. It's
No.
reality. And in reality, it doesn't happen when you ask for it.
At least
They
not
go
that we
someplace.
can't, not
Yes,
that we
they are
figured
going
out yet.
someplace. Yes, they are.
I agree again.
I'm the
I
first one
agree.
calling myself a fucking monkey going into
I agree
the
with that.
places
I agree with that.
clowning around with
Because
grandpas and stuff.
there's a difference between a paranormal investigator
Investigator and a ghost hunter. A real
and
paranormal investigator will go in a place.
This
Yeah,
is what
I just want to clarify this.
Yep.
All right. A real paranormal investigator will go in a place time after time. He will spend weeks, months in the same place just to know the surface of what's happening in that place.
Sure, but it runs deeper than that, Jeff. I mean, you know, if you're going to call yourself a paranormal investigator, then you need to know, and this is important. And I think there's a lot of people out there that haven't got a fucking clue on how to investigate,
No.
how to properly collect evidence, even though I hate calling anything paranormal evidence, because I mean we simply don't know. But the collection of
Hints.
evidence, people haven't got a
data.
clue. Data, right? Findings. People don't have a fucking clue. A majority of them don't have a clue.
And
how to
sometimes they
collect
don't
properly.
even like Michael said, sometimes they don't even look into the history.
No, fuck no.
They just go over the surface and like, oh, that's what's happening here. Yeah, but what happened here? Did somebody die? Did somebody get hung? No. All right. So what's your claim? And you spend a night there and like you sleep like a baby, like, okay, nothing's happening.
Yeah, I mean,
Julie,
yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Yep.
Part of the reason why so many personal opinion here, but part of the reason why a lot of the scientific community consider the paranormal a laughing stock is because exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Here's the problem. The problem, and I've said this, and Julie, if you want to go back to the archives, go back to the archives. I've been saying this for years.
Fuck, we have archives.
Yeah. Part of the problem with the paranormal community is the fact that there is no sort of overseeing body that holds people accountable. I've been saying this for years.
Mm-hmm.
Steve and I even had, when I first brought it up, we even had like an argument on air about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay? I've been saying this for many years. The paranormal field needs to have a governing body that holds people accountable. That really assesses people's claims and saying, you need to be able to prove what you prove. This is part of the problem with the paranormal field. It's the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can go online, YouTube,
Ugh.
Snapchat, Instagram, whatever the fuck you want to use.
Fuck, you're fucking old fashioned. What about goddamn TikTok?
Whatever. Who gives a shit? The point is, you can use whatever medium and you can make any sort of claim, asinine claim you want.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be people be like, oh, yeah, I know. You're right. This is the problem. There's nobody holding these people accountable.
No.
Right? The scientific community laughs at that because, and rightfully so, I would too if I was in the scientific community, because I'd be like, you guys are a fucking joke. Anybody can make a claim.
I seriously can't watch a lot of stuff that people present wherever, especially on YouTube. And I'll sit there and watch it and go, "What the fuck? You got to be
Well, I mean,
kidding me!"
it sometimes just watching them go, it's like you're not doing a paranormal investigations. You're running around. You're yelling. You're not doing anything right. First of all, There's, bright
I
lights everywhere.
I'll be brutally honest. I'll be brutally honest. If you are going to go into a location and solely rely on parlor tricks like your REM pods and so on and so on, and if you think these things are going to tell you if a location is haunted or not, then you really need to rethink your approach and
Oh
the way
yeah,
you look at things. Because I'm telling you, I'm not saying that, hey, they're not true, but I mean, for the most part, if you're just going to rely on these, I think you really need to rethink things.
oh yeah, oh yeah. You have to like EVPs, even doing putting something on the table, going away and coming back. Is it still there? Did it move?
I think one of the main things, and Julie kind of pointed that earlier, is the comparison of different things. Did something happen visually, and did you have something audibly happen at the same time? The comparisons. You compare things that might have happened in succession, succession there. Like, I mean, and try to explain as best as possible through, look at, can we repeat this? Can we recreate this?
Yes, yeah.
If we can't recreate it, then possibly, quite possibly, you might have something here,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Because you can't recreate it.
You have to find a logical explanation. If you don't have a logical explanation, then you can't and even then you cannot say it's paranormal. It could be something else that you're not thinking of.
Julia, let me tell you, most people, and this again, I'm going to be brutally honest. Most real, like, people who are authentically about researching the paranormal and investigating the paranormal will not put their shit online, period.
Yeah.
They won't put it on YouTube. They won't put it on TikTok. They won't put it even with like a website. I mean, look at our good friend Richard Palmisano.
Richard, yeah. He's
You
got
know,
books.
he's got books, but he didn't even have a website.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
Most anyone who has I'm going to say the psychic ability, don't put themselves out there.
No.
If they have an ability, and I'll tell you, that ability does exist, but it's very rare. It's very rare. But I'll tell you, they do help people, but behind the scenes, they don't put themselves out there. They don't ask for money.
They'll come out of
They don't have
nowhere.
they don't have
help.
they don't have a 1-800 number saying,
Nope.
call me, I'll help you, $800 per hour.
Hmm.
There's
a
Sylvia
lady.
Brown bullshit.
When I went to Gettysburg the first time, I went to visit a house that was getting renovated, and the lady told me a story
Mhm.
that one day she was doing renovations, and a lady come up and knocks on the door, said, "Hey, just just to tell you that there's a sniper in your upstairs window." Okay, and she just went away. And the where the lady pointed at, when that lady renovated that part, she found bullets in the floorboards.
Mm-hmm.
So the real people that have those gifts, they will come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They will never tell you possibly their name or leave a number. They'll just come to you and tell you something, and they'll go away. Exactly, Julie. And I'm one monkey in that entertainment thing. I'm not consider I'm far away consider myself as a researcher. I'm a ghost hunter. Yeah, ghosts.
Yeah, Julie. I mean, yeah, it's a new television, really. I
I
mean,
I I use my knowledge in psychology to understand what I'm trying to when I go and try to have an experience, a paranormal experience, because what we're doing, we're living paranormal experiences. One night, it's a paranormal experience. It's not a real investigation. It's an
God,
experience.
God damn! I hope we were entertaining tonight. But yeah,
But
I agree, Julie. I do. It's
I will agree with you 100%. But
um
I want to use my knowledge in psychology when I know about the human brain to help me understand if it's that energy that is released by our brain that is floating around.
you have never called yourself or your friends paranormal investigators? Question mark. Who's that to?
To you, and
To me?
all of us,
Only
really.
me.
I
We,
know. I
we could
know.
have said, yeah, he's a
I I,
paranormal
I
investigator,
know
and
I'm a paranormal investigator. I have been for 30 years.
Steve is.
30
And
years. And I'll tell you, my method is quite different than a lot of those out there. I'm
oh yeah.
grassroots when it comes to the paranormal. I'll tell you that. Hey, Waterhouse, how are you? Good to see
Hey,
you.
hello, War Horse.
She was
Jeff,
Yeah,
referring.
Jeff is going to need a vacuum for that
a
confetti.
vacuum, and the balloons up.
Oh, Julie was asking that question to you, Jeff. Have you have never called yourself or your friends paranormal investigators?
I could have, yes, I could have, but I'm a ghost hunter. I know. I could have said yes. I'm a paranormal investigator because I consider myself some in some cases a paranormal investigator because I want to learn what's the relation between the energy released by our brain and the paranormal.
But I've also noticed with you, Jeff, though, history plays a major part.
Yes,
You
because
you
I am.
you are very, 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 very interested and very knowledgeable with a lot of history with a lot of these locations. So that's what I admire about you. I mean, you are trying to sort of connect the history
History.
of what you might be collecting when you
Yes.
go to these places. So that's what I enjoy about you. You know, the fact that you try to connect the history with whatever findings you might get.
Yes, I will go to some random places. Yes. But I will try to go to a place and relate the history, the factual history to the building or to the location I'm at.
Is this before or after the investigation?
Sometimes before, but mostly after, because I don't want to pollute my.
That's what I was gonna get at. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the questions that was gonna come up if
And
I
that
didn't ask it.
there's a key point right there. Waterhorse brings it up right there. Student, we're all students.
Yeah.
We're always students. We're continuously students because we're in a field that you're constantly learning.
Yes, I
I mean,
understand that the person can call himself a doctor and not being a doctor. And we're not saying that we're rocket scientists.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean.
This is the wrong there, by the way.
Let me just say it. Let me just say this is exactly, if you are in the paranormal realm, and if you want to present evidence, if you will, or findings, however you want to call it, be prepared to be scrutinized. If you can't handle the scrutiny, you can't. You shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
You need to have a thick skin. If you have a thin skin in this, you're not going to last. And this is basically what Julie is picking at that skin and saying, look it. And you need to have that hard sort of nosed sort of approach. You really do. You really do. Not everyone's gonna agree with it, but I mean, look at. I mean, when you're dealing with something that is highly unknown, you need to you need to ask the hard questions. You really do. You really do. I mean,
Mhm.
it's important to ask those hard questions. And no matter what, not everyone's going to agree on the approaches and so on and so on. And look at, I'm highly skeptical, but I do believe something's going on. No matter what, I really do believe something's going on.
And just to know
But
that I was a skeptical before having
yeah, but
two experiences that make me believe.
yeah, it's not that I don't believe. I do believe. I do believe there's something there. It's just we need to be responsible and how we convey that, you know, like a lot of people aren't, Jeff.
Hmm.
There's a lot of people that aren't,
Oh, I know.
you know. I think people just want absolute proof that ghosts exist. It may never be 100% proven, just like so many people think they see Bigfoot. Come on now. Yeah, you know what? Number one, when I hear the word ghost, I just think so archaic. I think we need to get rid of that word ghost.
No, go.
I've been saying that for forever. The word ghost just
How we can
totally turns.
qualify them, even though it's entity, energy, spirit. We don't even know what it is. We gave it somebody gave it a name one day.
What is it? The word ghost comes from the Bible, isn't it? The Holy Ghost, the Bible, does it not? Is that not where
It's
the
the
word
Holy Spirit.
the term? Am I not right here? Does it not come from the Bible?
It could for you got me there. I well search the origin of the word ghost.
I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. But let me see. What a horse.
We're coming up to the top of the hour.
Wow, so fucking. Oh, that was fast. That was really
It was
fast.
fast.
I'm just reading the chat here.
It would be like from Old English or Germany or
You know what? German poltergeist, ghost,
yeah,
noisy ghost,
East Geist
geist.
G spelling
Adam,
Australia.
how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Good to
So
see you.
mm,
You know what? I have to say that this has been a very healthy conversation, and
yeah,
and it needs to happen. It really does. And it's all about honesty. It's all about being able to say, hey, look it. not everyone's ever going to agree with their approach on the paranormal. I mean, that's a given.
Oh,
But I
no.
mean, I think we all need to understand that because it is a highly unknown realm, that we're like, there are things, as Alex pointed out earlier, that were unknown before that have science has explained. It's only a matter of time before science explains more. Right? You peer into that darkness. You may not know what's going on right now, but give it some time, and science will eventually explain more of those bits and pieces of the unknown, the darkness, if you will. Will it ever explain, the great questions of, what happens after death, if anything?
We'll only find out when we die.
Well,
Exactly.
Unless there's nothing
We'll know it when
beyond.
Unless
If there's nothing beyond, and this is all that there is to life, then we won't know any better.
Debate is fun. I love debating. We need to debate.
No, I don't like debating.
You don't like debating?
No.
You're so full of shit.
No, I don't.
Well, it depends. When you debate with somebody
My
that is
burrito's bigger than yours.
like one-sided, like close-minded, but somebody like as open-minded as Julie.
This show. Hold on. This show is not about debate.
No.
It never has been.
Never has been.
Never will be. This is a show where we interview people, where we express our opinion, and if someone doesn't like it, they can get the fuck out.
Opinion? Wait a sec. Do we ever express our opinion?
Of course we do. That's what this show is about. We're not here. We're not here to prove anything to anyone except for people who are like-minded.
Exactly. These dark discussions are to allow people to express their perception. Right? You may not agree with it, and that's not the point. The point is we allow them to sort of bring their approach and explain it and talk about it. And hey, you know what? We are all learning. We are all students. We don't know 100% what's going on. None of us do. No. If you claim to be an expert, then you're fucked. If you claim to know whatever, you're fucked.
No.
You'll never know.
No.
At least not now. In the current understanding of science, even science can't explain everything.
I don't have any control over my emotions. Okay. Tell that to my wife.
I want to say, man, this has been great. I love it, man, and I want to thank
definitely
everybody.
A different show.
Yeah, hey, it's been great. It's been fun.
Yep.
And you know what? Yeah. A lot of great discussion. A lot of great stuff, man.
I'm surprised I was able to keep any sort of semblance of normalcy after having what I've drank.
Oh man. But let's be honest. Let's be honest here. I mean,
are we being tested here? I just want to ask.
Are
we being tested here?
We're never tested.
Is there like some sort of scientific community cabal that's looking at us saying, "Hey, we gotta fucking see if these guys are legit"?
And when you say legit, what is legit?
There's no legitimacy in the paranormal. That's the fucking problem. I've been saying this for fucking years. There needs to be legitimacy. There needs to be a governing body, but no one will fucking listen.
Yep.
I know. But, honestly, Spock, what are you doing?
It's the end of the night when.
Captain, give me more power.
Captain, give me more power. But this has been fun. I've really enjoyed it, and you
Yeah.
know what? I always enjoy having Jeff on. Jeff, thank you, buddy. You know,
Always welcome.
always great. I know you've had a long day. You've had a long
Yeah.
journey. You've been chasing.
Long drive. That's probably my like I was starting really fast because I'm really tired. I drove 6 hours in a snowstorm. So, yeah. But like though.
Wait a sec. Hold on, Steve. How long have I watched your channel? I watched before you joined.
You still on this?
Join the channel. X-Files.
I watched
I want to believe. I want to believe. Yeah, I want to
I
believe.
want to believe.
I want to believe too.
I want to believe.
I want
Julie,
little green men.
Julie,
from me.
honestly, I really do appreciate your support. Really do, really do, and everyone else, Barbara and Melissa and Gareth. Thank you, buddy. Always great to see you, man. Sue, Waterhorse, great to see you. Neil, always great to see you. And let me go back here. And Michael, of course. Adam, buddy, thank you for coming back in. Obviously, Steven, always great to see you, man. Dude, as you call everybody, hey, dude. I hope you're well, Steven. And Mars, happy birthday again. Happy birthday. Everyone, once again, say happy birthday to Mars. This is her birthday today. If she's still listening, she might be.
I think she left.
I think she might have left, but happy
Yep.
birthday again. Gareth, thank you, buddy. Always great. And you know what? You guys rock. You all rock, no matter what. No matter what. I want to thank you all again. You know, don't forget to hit the like button. Throw your comments. We want to hear your comments. You know what? We love hearing your comments. So like, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe.
Subscribe.
We're back next Sunday night with a show about should I tell them now, Alex?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because you don't even fucking know.
That's right. I don't. That's right. I want you to tell them. You can tell me too.
Squatch. About the Sam Squatch, but the one in Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah. Well, guys, you know what?
That's the only real one.
Steven, you got a sticker. Did I send you a sticker yet? I didn't send you a sticker yet, did I? Did I say? I can't remember if I sent you a sticker yet. I can't remember. Let me know. Remind me. And I'm going to send Melissa a sticker too. Oh my God.
Melissa likes sticky stuff.
Yeah.
And Melissa, by the way, I send you a friend request on Facebook. So
and guys.
I didn't
yes,
have it.
Melissa, I will send your sticker. Trust me. You got. I think I still have your address. You might want to send it again just in case. I'm bad with this.
Sorry.
Michael wants a sticker. If I get another sticker, Michael, I can send one your way too. And let me see. Guys, hit up the merch store too. Hit up the merch store. If you haven't hit the merch store up, all proceeds go right into the show, paying for this YouTube and of course New Visions Radio Network and so on and so on. The day-to-day runnings of our show depend on the merch store and more. So if you grab a t-shirt, grab a hoodie, grab whatever, link is in the show description. Grab something today. You won't regret it. And take a picture. If you do grab something, take a picture and let us know. We would love to share. Guys, take care. Have a good evening. And we'll see you next Sunday night. All right? Take care, everyone.
Peace.
Later.
Take care, everyone.